Fire in the Blackstone hole. Let's cook a pork chop. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my backyard griddle. What I got for you today is I've got a lowly pork chop. And we're going to prep this thing up very simply. We're going to hit it with some Uncle Steve shake on both sides. Then we're going to get it on the griddle and get it cooking. We're going to make a bone-in, this is a bone-in pork chop. A bone-in pork chop sandwich smothered in onions. If you don't like onions, you might as well leave now, I'll tell you. So stick around, we'll get this on the griddle and get it cooking. Stay tuned. I got my pork chop cooking on the griddle. I'm going to throw down some oil over here on this side. I got to turn the heat down a little bit. I got too much heat going on here. But anyway, we got some oil over there. Let me turn that heat down a little bit. And I've got a whole bunch of onions that I cut up. Let me tell you what. Most of these onions are going to go on that sandwich. Trust me. We're going to get these onions cooked up, sauteed up. And yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about where I got the inspiration for this. So I got the idea for this from, I was watching one of these Travel Channel videos. I'm going to put the link in the description for you if you want to watch it. What I'm doing is sauteing these onions up in some oil. I got a little too much heat on my griddle. I got to turn it down. Anyway, yeah, up in Chicago, they make this pork chop sandwich. And what they do is they've got a pile of onions cooking on their griddles all day long, and they're cooking up these Polish dogs, they call them. And they serve them with onions, and they serve these pork chops with onions too. So that's the only way you can get it, is just smothered in onions. But I happen to like onions, so if you don't like onions, you're going to hate this video. Let's face it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that and who in the audience is not going to like this video. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got to do. I got to get my onions cooked up. I'm going to throw a little bit of water down on the griddle and put my dome over that and let them steam a little bit while I cook up my pork chop, which is not going to take long to cook. In fact, he's almost done already. If you see that. So he's looking good. We're going to steam up those onions and cook up that pork chop, and then we're going to get them on some ciabatta bread and make a sandwich. So stay tuned. Alright, the onions are getting nice and caramelized up. What I'm going to do now is take that pork chop and just drop him right on top of those onions over there. And I'm going to put the dome over it. Just let them sit over there. I'm going to clear a spot over here. I got some ciabatta bread that I'm going to put some, we're going to toast that up a little bit. I've got some Duke's mayonnaise. We're going to throw on that ciabatta bread. Get a spreader, spread that out a little bit. Duke's mayo. If you've never had mayo on your toasted bread, man, you're missing something out of your life, because it really makes it good. Let me get that spread on there and get that flipped over and get it toasting. And once we get that toasted up a little bit, we'll be able to put this sandwich together. So stay tuned. Okay, I got my ciabatta roll nice and toasty. What we're going to do now is throw down some yellow mustard on the roll like this. This is just the way they did it in the video that I watched. And you'll be able to watch that if you go in the link, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They put yellow mustard on everything. Now we're going to throw our pork chop on there. Whoops. Okay, we're going to lay our bone-in pork chop on top of that, and then we're just going to smother that with grilled onions, like so. Oh baby. Oh, baby. A little bit more. If you don't like onions, you're wasting your time with this video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what. How does that look? Might as well get them all, right? This is going to be one sloppy pork chop sandwich, but tell you what, I'll bet it's going to taste awesome. Let me get a beer. We'll take a taste of this pork chop sandwich. Stay tuned. My pork chop sandwich is done. There's the Frosty Root Boy mug, star of the show. Here's today's beer. This is Super Sluice Juice from the Bentwater Brewing Company. Now, you know I've had sluice juice before. My buddy Craig sent me a can of it, and then I bought another can of it because I liked it so much. This is Super Sluice Juice. I'm going to tell you what this is in a minute. Let me pour it out before I mess up. I don't want to spill any beer or make a mistake. I don't want to get it right. I get a good pour on that Super Sluice Juice. Look at the color of that. Can you see that? It's almost orange. And that the reason that the label is orange, the regular sluice juice label is green. This is a New England double IPA. It's 8% alcohol, 1 pint. Let's sniff the sniff off it, Rob. Don't it look good? Super Sluice Juice. Ah, it smells great. You could smell a grapefruit in that. You know, it's got probably it's a great IPA. Let's quaff the froth off it, Rob. I'm getting dry. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, babies. Let me turn the camera around and I'll attempt to get some of this sandwich in my mouth. So, you know, I want to tell you about this sandwich. You see all the onions on that thing, right? Okay, let me tell you about I send these videos to my relatives. You know, I send them to my son and my cousin Lenny. My cousin Lenny does not like onions. Every time I send him a video that I put onions in, he says to me, "You know, your mother hated onions." Lenny, I know my mother hated onions. She had a reason for hating onions. She hated onions because during the war, World War II, that's all they had to eat was bread and onions, and she got to hate onions. But I happen to love onions. Look at the juicy, oh man, look at the juicy pork chop and onions on that sandwich. I gotta try and get this in my mouth somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I love onions. My son hates them. He's not my son. He can't be my son. How can he be my son? All right, let me see if I can get this in my mouth and get a bite of this. Oh man, I mean that. Oh boy, that's awesome. Let me tell you what. I need a beer. That's delicious, I gotta tell you. There's nothing like a pork chop with mustard and onions. To me, that's the best. Let me get a drink. Ah, yeah, that's awesome. So babies, you know what I always say. If you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go up in the iCard. I'm not sure who I'm going to send you to this week, but I'll find somebody. Oh, I know. My buddy Sal, SJ. Yeah, you got to check him out. He just made ribs on the rotisserie. Look delicious. Yeah, so check out my buddy Sal in the iCard. Subscribe to me. If you like onions, this is the ultimate awesome sandwich that you would love. If you don't like onions, you're wasting your time. Okay? All right, babies, I'll tell you what. We'll see you next week, okay? We may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. Bye.